The SG Child Show is back for its 13th season. Join Sarah Bradford and the SG Child Show team as they explore the world of autism and share stories of hope and inspiration. This season, we're excited to bring you more autism summits featuring experts and advocates from around the world. Go to sgchilds.org.
In the heart of the city, she's shining bright. Oh yeah, stories of love and courage all throughout the night.
Hey everyone, just wanted to give you an update. The second annual International Autism Summit was such a success. Thank you to our sponsors and our amazing speakers. If you're interested in seeing any of those sessions, go to my YouTube channel, The SG Child Show, the live tab, and you can see each day, and their sessions are timestamped in the description. Hope to see you guys there. Hi, welcome to the SG Child Show today. Today I am being met with another Sarah, so you better bet it's going to probably be the best episode yet.
Absolutely.
Number 310, if we're counting. Woo! We are
Wow.
doing some work, and we're, just really, like you said, even if we can impact one or two people in the community, in our neighborhood, in our church, anywhere that we can be just a resource to anyone, then let us be. I said just yesterday, or just the other day on the summit, if I can be the beacon of light that come to people to help them share their stories, please let me be that, and come and let's do it all together.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much for being here today. And for my wonderful listeners and audience, please introduce yourself and let them know a little bit about yourself and what brought you here.
Sure. I'm Sara Freeman Smith, and I am a first and foremost disability advocate because I am legally blind, probably about 95% vision loss at this stage. And I also am a career navigator and author and speaker of an inspirational book entitled Turning Stones into Gems, Learn How to Find Purpose in Your Life and Career. And my career journey has always been on the HR recruiting side, where I would go out, seek, and try to attract talent to come to work for my organizations. And then when I retired, of course, I couldn't retire. I had to get back into the game, and now I am helping others try to figure out, what do I want to be sometimes when I grow up after a second or third time. And in my instance, I'm totally reinventing myself. So if I can do it, what's the excuse of others? So being able to be able to provide those resources and encouragement. So
I love that. In fact, a little personal story that you might love as well. My grandfather passed away just a couple of years ago at 96.
Oh, wow.
But let me tell you, he, number one, remarried at 85.
Oh, my goodness.
He continued his education continually. He was always doing continued education, constantly doing history and all of these amazing things. And he also, I think it was like he was 92 when he had an unfortunate fall, but that was the last time he did roofing work on his own.
Oh, my goodness.
There's no excuses. Like, you can do things, and I always say, like, sometimes even my own mom will be, oh, I don't know what to, like, I don't think I can and I'm like, no, even your own dad, like, he restarted his whole life.
Exactly. Reach down and get that DNA that he imparted on you.
That's right.
That's the truth. Absolutely. And it does. And it begins with your mindset. That's the first and foremost, because what's in our mind will drive the rest of us. And so if I convince myself what I cannot do, guess what? You will achieve every aspect of that. So it's just repositioning and changing that mindset that'll make a world of difference.
Oh, I love that. And where do people start on this journey with you?
Well, for me, it is about sitting down and really, really, first and foremost, admitting to yourself you need help, because a lot of us just trudge through and push through, and we may be the person that everyone asks us for advice or help, but sometimes it's about humbling yourself, swallowing that pride and that ego. And then in my instance, some 20 years ago, when I began to lose my vision, it was like, you mean I got to ask for help? I'm the helper. I can't be the helpee. But it was about sitting down and taking that quiet time, meditation. And for me, I'm a strong faith-based individual. And that was spending that quiet time with God. Now, granted, when you're given devastating news mid-career, you're, getting promotions. I'm in grad school. I'm a mother, wife, community advocate, involved in my church. And suddenly you're finally told, because there's no reason why you're losing your vision, that not only will you not be able to cure it, it is a condition that is genetic and it will lead to your total blindness. And I tell you, I was on a pity party for a good minute, because I'm going, what in the world am I going to do? How can I do everything that I did was so dependent upon my vision. And I'm crying out angry. I have to admit, it's like going through, 7 stages of grief. I mean, I'm upset with God, and I'm going, why me? Why me? Why me? I'm doing all these things. I'm just checking off all my little boxes that I've, of course, said to myself that I thought I was doing right. And God clearly spoke and said, why not you, Sarah? What makes you any better than others? Do you realize that there are people that would give their right arm and leg to be in your position? So let's go take a visit, down the MD Anderson Hospital. I'm in the medical center capital of the world in Houston. And do you want to start at the infant side? So that gives you a little bit of reflection. And so at that point, you really, really have to start deep and get off that merry-go-round for me. And that was the prayer and the meditation. And then God said, okay, now I can speak to you. Here's what you will do. And the main thing he wanted me to do is, I'm saying to myself, I can't do this. Write a third edition of the book before I had sight, before I could do, because the book was initially published about 25 years ago, and this is my third edition. Now, what are you saying? I can't do that. That's at least what I'm telling myself. But the one thing I've learned, God does not call the equipped. He equips the called. And he said, you can do this and you will do this, and I'm going to go through you so you can encourage others and let them know, even at this point, even at this season, that there's more that I have for you to do. And so that's the first step, is taking that quiet time. And to be honest with you, Sarah, a lot of people don't want to give up. That, we're on social media, we're doing our own thing. And we just kind of squeeze in that little quiet time. But it's so, so important. It's like trying to have a conversation one way. How can you tell me everything you want to do, but then when I go to speak, you get up off those knees, you get up, okay, I got to go. So, yes.
I love that you said that, because I think a big part of, and I, am also on my own spiritual journey. My husband and I are taking like a higher self course on the side together as a couple. And we're just embracing some of these ideas that kind of we've known all along, but putting everything together in its own daily practice is so special, so powerful. But I think one thing that I really resonated with me and what you're saying is that you really, for the next step, you have to be ready to receive.
You have to.
In order to receive, you've got to be quiet, you've got to be settled, you've got to be over wanting to ask or over asking and ready to get answers and ready to receive that. And then you get this powerful, inspiration, and now can, like you said, help others.
I know.
Because there's so much power in people's stories. Everybody's journey is so very unique, and nothing will be the same for two people or, individuals, but we can all take like learning lessons, from everyone, and learn a little bit from every person. I love it.
Right. And that's so very true. And then when you take that quiet time, that's when, you, like you said, you get these revelations, you get these inspirations. In my book, I talk, there's 6 P's. So the first one is prayer. And the second one is you're going to get a plan. But then we put ourselves in the mix of it. We're trying to figure out, now, how am I going to do this? Now, I don't know anybody like this. Oh, that seems too enormous. Again, we are rattling our mind and our brain and all of these things on how am I going to do this? It's because the one thing I know, that whatever we can think of, then that's not God's plans. Because guess what? If you could think of something to do, what'd you need God for? It is always going to be something far bigger than you would ever think you could grasp. And again, he says, I'm going to go through you, but I am also the same God that gives you the vision. I will give you the provisions. I'm going to equip you and put people in front of you. You just need to look up, ask for help, and it's right there. And that's the part of the plan that you go, oh, you mean yeah, but it's step by step. He's not going to play the whole movie out for me, in my instance, which I want. Okay, can I see the part that you want me to play and determine if I want to play that? No, you don't get to do that. It's like step by step by step. And then it starts forming a picture and you go, oh my goodness, I never knew Sarah had this background when all these years I knew her as this. And you've been doing, oh yeah, but you never asked. Or it wasn't important that I know that until that moment at that time. So that's the beauty of when the plan begins to unfold. And then you can share that with others and people go, oh, that's the only reason I couldn't do it, because I couldn't figure out how to start that next career or that new business. Well, that's the problem. We block our own blessings. We get in our own way.
Isn't that true? And there can be several plans. You don't have to just have one. I mean, I think that,
and there will be
like you said,
detours.
yes, right? Detours.
Absolutely. But those are good detours, because these
Isn't
are
that true?
lessons you have to learn now, because you're going to face something down the road. And if I didn't have that experience from that detour, oh my gosh, how that ending would be totally different. So it's being able to not only adjust to say it's going to change, but remember this, whatever that purpose of that plan, it's not going to go away. In my instance, I thought I had completed it some 20 years ago. Okay, I wrote the book, I spoke, I did all those things. I'm back in corporate America. I'm doing my own thing. Why in the world I got to do that again? Well, God would send me perfect strangers tracking me down on LinkedIn saying, that book you wrote 20 years ago, we're going through this pandemic. We need that same encouragement now. And I'm going, you've been trying to find me for 20 years ago from a Barnes and Noble speaking event? Yes, that's God.
Wow.
That's God. And you have no other excuse. And then I still sit and he sends someone else. He says, okay, that burning bush didn't get your attention. Let me send a towering inferno or something. So eventually that okay, I got to do this. Now what? And boom, someone drops into it was amazing. Oh, I do books and I publish and I work with, blind and low vision. What? Okay. I never knew
Yeah.
that. So those are the things that help. But being able to share it with people, yes, I had some detours, and yes, I just flat out got out of the line and did my own thing. But God said, save that spot. She'll be back here. She's out there in the parking lot. Everybody else is in the stadium.
Yes. Oh,
I'm
I
out
love
there
that.
in the parking lot thinking, oh, I got this. I don't need, okay, you told me my marching. I didn't tell you to go do it. And so here I come back a year or two late. Excuse me, as I tell my friends, that's my spot. Yeah, we've been waiting on you. And I get a chance to sit right back and say, okay, I'm paying attention now. But I learned.
I love that.
I
I'm
learned.
parenting a teen right now, and I think that my husband, when she's like, "Oh, why are things going?" My husband always says to her, "Everything is a test. The sooner you overcome this,
This
the
one.
it will change. You'll be on to the next one."
Exactly.
And that's
Exactly.
just, it's so kind of almost lovely to hear it doesn't ever, this is it, like,
It is, and it's a
depend on the
continuum.
change,
Yes,
right?
it is, and trust me, I have empathy for you. I only have one man child, and at that time when he was going through those teen years, when I am losing my vision, of course, why? And I
Yeah.
would always tell him, I said, listen, this is exactly right. This is a test, but guess what? God does not grade on a pass curve system.
Mm.
Okay, just because someone got an 85, you don't get to pass. You either pass or you fail. If you fail, guess what? You're going to stay in the same class until you pass. And I
Yep.
said, so the quicker you learn this lesson, you get promoted to the next lesson. So
Yep.
if you keep asking me why, because you keep making the same mistake. And guess what? You're not getting out of this class until you learn it. So
Yeah.
and at
So
that
true.
point, he would go, oh, okay. All right. Now we got it. Now we go to the next challenge. And of course,
Yeah.
here we go again.
Oh,
Exactly.
it's such yeah. And, no parenting kids, I'll tell you, I have
Mhm.
three, and there's nothing
Uh,
that works once with any
no,
other.
one size fits all. No, I totally know that. I totally get it. Totally get
Yeah,
it.
well,
But
and
yeah,
it's the same in the corporate world, though. You
yeah.
can
Mhm,
completely
mhm.
understand that, and I
Yes,
have
absolutely.
worked in that as well. I completely
Hmm.
understand that,
Hmm.
and
Exactly.
isn't it funny how it can be almost like comparative,
Mhm.
in these
I know. I know. And that's the
category
other
ways.
thing. So often we want to separate some of those life lessons, but they're so to me, when God actually speaks, it is so applicable in everything. It's not
Integrated.
just do it here and then leave it there. As my pastor says, don't be, sitting here and you're the Christian in the church, and as soon as you get to the parking lot, you're yelling and doing all those other little snag nasty things. It doesn't happen like that. It continues, and you can apply this through everything that you do. It's
Yeah,
just taking the time to just go, okay, I don't have to fight this battle. Let me just put this over to the side and things will work itself out. So, yeah.
absolutely.
Hmm.
What type of tools have you and resources do you use for yourself now? I know that some
Hmm.
of our disability advocates and
Hmm.
listeners would love to
Oh.
hear about that. And,
Hmm.
I had just recently done another episode with a woman who talked a lot about like the screen readers and how
Yes. Hmm.
important that is.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I still don't have my website fixed yet because I learned so much on
I
that,
know. I know.
and now
Well,
I'm
all
like,
you
okay,
got to do,
okay,
yeah,
I'm
if
gonna
you
fix
just,
this.
yes,
But
yes,
the more we
yes.
know, right? So tell us a little bit about
Absolutely, absolutely. Because that's one of the main things as a career navigator with my HR background. Whenever I have an opportunity to talk to companies, I said one of the first steps. Well,
that.
how can we attract people? I said, well, it's almost like inviting someone to your house, but you know that I'm blind, but you got all these Tiffany glass and all these little curios and all these things, and you got the slippery Persian rug, and I come in either with a service dog or a cane, and I'm whacking going away, and not you didn't prepare your house. So, in other words, the companies, if you want to attract someone with a visual impairment, first and foremost, when you say you have an opening, your website has to be accessible. And that's a simple fix. If you get a software designer, there's guidelines that they can easily tap in. They go back programs. So, those little buttons and drop downs that just like your guest talked about, that screen reader, it slides over and it'll read. This is the search box type of text. Well, there's some other really cool tools. One of the basics is I currently just started doing some workshops for seniors that have vision loss, and anyone, not necessarily seniors, but specifically targeting seniors for two reasons. One, most of them have no clue about the technology. And two, when they do hear about the technology, they quickly say they can't do it. But something as simple, here's my I have an iPhone, but even an Android phone, there's a simple feature under general settings or accessibility. It's built in almost by itself that you turn on something called voiceover, similar to a screen reader. It's not Siri, because Siri is everybody has Siri. That's the AI we're talking to it, asking the questions. But there's a feature called voiceover. And all I do is here's my cell phone. Let me see if I can turn it up. And I turn it, anything that I touch. 17 p.m.
Oh, yes.
Not disturbed. Show notifications. Page 1 of 2. So it's telling me everything. And so people say, how do you read your text messages? How do you do? because voiceover, I'm doing two things. I'm listening and I'm also manipulating it with my fingers. But anything that I touch, it'll read. And if I get to a website or I'm reading, a lengthy attachment, I just swipe my finger and it starts at the top. Or I keep swiping if I need to get to the middle, or I can make some adjustments and I can go to all of these things. It's right there. And then on top of that, you have a toll-free number that you can call Apple or Google, who or the basis of Android, and ask questions and say, I can't figure out why isn't this working, and they'll walk you through it. So it's something as simple as that allows me to do that. And then there's free apps, and then the latest and coolest tool are called Ray-Ban Meta Smart Glasses.
Ooh.
And they talk. You put them on, and basically they sing through Blue.
Oh my gosh.
Someone calls, and I'm talking to you right now through my glasses.
Oh
It's
my
just
goodness.
can
This
you
is
hear me?
incredible.
And
Yes.
I can then it's a partnership between Ray-Ban and Meta,
Wow.
founders of Facebook, etc. They've partnered, they built in an AI feature as well. So it gives you hands-free usage. It wasn't created for the blind and visually impaired. Actually, I think it was created for gamers because it allows you to take videos and photos without using your camera on your phone. You can just give the command, say, take a photo, and then download it to your social media immediately, hands-free. You're
Wow.
just swipe, but you're going to go into your little app, and then boom, boom, it's online. Well, guess
Wow.
what? It also, with AI, I can say, read what I have in my hand. Tell me what's on my computer screen. Tell me what's on TV, and it'll read these things. So it is so cool. And it doesn't enhance my vision, but I'm talking to it using the AI functionality as well as the hands-free, where I can send text messages, answer my calls, things of that nature. So it is the latest and greatest tool. And the price point is so economical, under $300. I
Oh my
tell you, the
gosh.
starting point. Yes. And so gamers, sighted people, I love it. I use it every day. I can grab my mail. My husband hands me I don't have to go and open up my phone I can just simply glance and say, who's the addressee from? And then it'll say, it's a statement. Okay. Then I can say, Bank of America. Okay. Boom, read. And I can even tell it to go to a certain section. Yesterday, we were at a restaurant, and my husband, we hadn't been there before, and he's reading. Normally, he would read the menu to me in advance. I said, hey, just give me the menu. And I went straight, opened up, just put it in front of me and said, read the types of salads. And it read me the 4 types of salad. I was already ready to order.
Oh my
Cool is that?
gosh.
How cool is that?
Amazing.
I know.
I'm
So these are
so happy for that.
These are simple tools, but then there's a wealth of tools for people, from Braille displays to the various types of magnifiers. Some people have different levels of sight, so some that provide contrast. And CCTVs, I advise people, and I have a resource page on my website, that go start with your state agencies. Every state has a vocational rehabilitation group. Sometimes they're incorporated through the employment office group. Other times they're standalone. So whatever your state has, but start with them. And people can get services, and they can purchase these screen readers, even offer a discount, or get iPhones or Androids or things of this nature. You just have to find out what services are available, the training that's available. So reaching out and learning the power of asking, as I tell people, that was my 2 greatest lessons. Was 1, the power of asking for help, and number 2, being patient, because God said, Sarah, you're not patient enough. You have to be patient. So
what's your website? I want to put it up on the screen.
Okay. The website is U as in United, R as in Robert, GEMS, GEMS.com. Stands for You Are GEMS. I couldn't write YOU, so youaregems.com. And there's a disability resource page, a list of how to find your state agency if you
Did
don't
I do
know,
that correctly?
organizations. Now, I can't see that. I'd have
Oh
to log
no,
in on
that's
that
right.
phone. There we
That won't.
go. So youaregems.com should, and then www in front of it, www.
Perfect.
That should take you
Sorry,
there.
my goodness, what a goofball.
But no, it happens all the
Two
time.
people,
Wait
you
a
have
minute.
to do
Wait a
it.
minute.
I love
I've been married almost 45 years, and my husband said, it's right over there. Where's there? Right there. And I'm looking at him, and then he suddenly, oh. So
okay.
it's okay. So trust me, it happens. It happens.
Yeah.
But no, youaregems.com.
I
So
love that.
the
Perfect.
resource page would extremely, it has organizations. And I love the fact that I can help people. If you're looking for a job, it gives you some tips and some tools. But what if I'm an employer? What if I know a company, and why aren't we hiring more people, not just visually impaired, but people with disabilities? There's so many misconceptions that people have from a business sector. Oh, it's going to cost me this. Oh, I can't afford the accommodations. Oh, what if this? I mean, dispelling all of those things that if you just take the time to sit and look at what the benefits are in hiring individuals with a wide array of disabilities. And I used to even work with individuals through the state as a personal job coach, and from individuals that were autistic to visual impairment, physical impairments, in all the whole gamut. And I just loved being able to share with them, be confident in yourself and sit down and be able to explain what you can do, but you also need to be able to ask for those necessary accommodations and why you need them.
Yeah, and
So
disclosure is a
is
very big conversation going
right,
on right
right,
now.
right.
And I think it's great. I think it's great that we're talking about it, and we're really just talking about a lot of things that we should be talking about. And I think that
Hmm.
that's
Hmm.
good to get
Right.
all this information
Right.
out
And
there.
disclosure is unique for each person. It's up
Yeah.
to individuals, because some, as I tell people, some disabilities, if they're invisible, the law does not require you to walk in and just list your the things that you need for accommodations. It's up
Yeah.
to you. So it's the way you approach it. Now, in my instance, if I were to go and interview, I'm coming in with the cane, and I'm going to have to ask somebody, where is the such and such office, or where is Bill or Bob or Sally or whomever. So it's going to be clear that even though I look like, as most people say, you don't look like you're blind, because you're looking at me, and I'm going, well, I'm following where my ears tell me, and I'm assuming you're in front of me, one of those type things. So and then I kind of go, well, how does a blind people do? You think we all look like Ray Charles' sister or Stevie Wonder's? Well, I mean,
Yeah.
anyway, but that's okay. I totally get it. So I use that as an opportunity to really educate and inform. And then at that point, but then I know I'm the elephant in the room, because again, they've talked to Sarah, we've emailed, I've done whatever. And now I walk in and they go, oh no, now what do we do with her? Well, then I come in with my cell phone and I say, listen, I'm not doing social media. This is my accessibility tool. I have my notes written here. So if you see me, I'm listening. It's not a distraction to you, but I'm listening to some follow-up notes that I have in order to ask some certain questions. And if you send me something, if you put it in an electronic version, I can read that faster instead of handing it to me with a piece of paper. However, if you do, I can take a photo of that and then it can be read back, but then I need a little bit of time to do it. So whatever's most convenient for you. And at that point, they're going, okay, I think she has a grasp of this. So, and the only other thing is, I ask someone, identify yourself when you start talking to me, because again, if you're in a room and Bob and Sally and all these people, hey, I'm Bob, so I'm listening so I can begin to recognize the voice. So
Yeah.
just being confident in believing in yourself. And, if it's meant to be, it's great. But if that organization does not want to hire me, hey, I say, hey, I'm happy, because I don't want to be somewhere where someone doesn't want me.
Isn't that the truth? Rejection is
Uh-huh.
protection. That rejection is no
Absolutely.
protection. That's what
Yeah.
we say in our
Yeah.
family.
Absolutely. And
It
that's
doesn't
just one
it
check
works
box
out
closer
everything.
to another yes. And
Yep.
I just keep it moving. Okay.
Love
Thank
it.
you.
Love it. Oh
Absolutely.
man, I'm so glad that we found each other. This is so fantastic.
Well, you found me because you were on, and I said, oh, how cool. And I immediately checked out your website and I said, Oh God, thank you
Uh-oh.
so much
You
that
better
you
fix this
connected
like
and
that.
stuff.
I'm so glad too. I'm really,
Yes.
really so glad
Mm-hmm.
because I want to be accessible to everyone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
StreamYard, which we're using right now,
Mm-hmm.
has amazing
Oh,
accessibility.
extremely accessible. This was
Love
one of
it.
the first besides Zoom that I got introduced to. And I just absolutely, because the host, she said, "Oh, I didn't realize that." Well, I'm not sure. I said, I can do a quick little, do some research real fast because I always ask what kind of platform. And this was 8, 9 months ago. And sure enough, they had all the check boxes
Yeah.
that it was accessible. And like Podmatch that you found me,
Yeah.
that was one of the reasons I connected with them because again, they had built in and they even had hired someone who was
They
blind
did a good
and
job.
to help,
Yeah.
consult with them to make sure it was accessible. So I love being able to do those
Yeah.
sorts of things. So kudos.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. And I'm really glad that you mentioned that because those are some really great resources for
Hmm.
people that are interested in
Right.
finding guests or being hosts or anything.
Host or
Podmatch is an amazing
it
place
is.
to
It is
find
both on both
guests.
sides of the fence, host or
It really
guest.
is,
Great job.
yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And
Yeah.
it was really great when I decided to kind of hone in a little bit more in that I could narrow down. Well,
Hmm.
I'm not really interested in just having like a business marketing guest on. Like I really want to
Right.
stick to this community and
Hmm.
everything. And
Hmm.
I love that. I love that
Right,
it has
right.
those.
That you can do that deep dive
Yeah.
and find your own specialty niche.
Yeah,
So yes, absolutely,
exactly.
absolutely. I know.
Well, what
Great.
is what kind of things are you working on now? What can we
Hmm.
look forward to seeing
Okay.
and what you're going to be doing?
Well, one of the things, as I stated, I'm starting to do seminars at my local library that we are going to start filming so that I can upload it. And I'm going to create a YouTube channel so more people can get Sarah and get exposed to the seminars that I'm doing, both from teaching people some of the accessibility tools and making them aware of that. But more importantly, I'm also going to try to put on line. I do a workshop on helping people find their career, their next step. But it's sitting down in breaking that down, taking the time and the steps. So look forward to seeing a YouTube channel that I'll be able to upload that and offer some courses and also some seminars that people can just click and go, hey, I can do this for my mom or someone that you might know that suddenly is losing their vision because it doesn't just affect seniors, even though baby boomers will all be over 65 by the year 2029, and in vision loss, a good 20% of our population each decade will lose a portion of their vision. So
Mm.
it is just being aware of some of the tools that are available. And then I also want to share on like Instagram. I tell people about my glasses and also some of the cool things. Watching TV using audio description. People realize they're going, "How are you watching movies and TVs? You can go to the movie theater, get a particular headset, and sit there and enjoy the movie right there with the rest of your family, and not have any clue what's on that screen, but you're following the storyline, all
I
because of audio
love
description." And going to the theater, I went to see Hamilton about a month ago at our theater, and had a headset, had a tactile tour, went behind the stage, felt the props, got a feel, and then you come back, put the
wow.
headset on, and they're describing the characters. But I'm telling people who are sighted, no, that's not Jefferson, that's George Washington. He's talking to some. Oh, I didn't know, because the audio description person they've got the whole play. They've got
Yeah,
the script, and they know who's who. So these are things that people
I
go,
love.
and that's free. I said, yes. When I purchased my ticket, I just asked, will there be an audio description for this particular service? And they'll tell me when. I
Yeah,
never knew that. I said, it's all the power of asking.
yeah. Oh, I, amen. It's all in the
Yes.
power of asking.
Asking. Yes.
I
Yes.
love that.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
and I think that you have to, just like you said, you have to just quiet yourself, be humble, realize that
Hmm.
in asking, those opportunities will come. They will start
Exactly.
to provide themselves around you,
Hmm.
and
Right.
that's your opportunity to grasp
Right.
on those and just, yeah,
Exactly. Exactly.
Mental
And
health.
Sarah, the one thing I find that within the disability community, we convince ourselves, our own self-talk, oh, I won't be able to compete. Oh, I don't think I'll. But if we stop the negative voices in turn and trust the faith that, hey, I can do this. It may be different and it may take me a little bit longer, but I can achieve it. I believe in myself. If you don't believe in yourself, you certainly can't go out and convince someone else, but it becomes contagious when you believe, you know what you're capable of, and you continually invest in yourself. I call it my little bully system: believe, understand, love, and invest in yourself. If you don't, it's not going to come out, and people, it's contagious. They go, how do you do? I want to do that. I'm talking to a lady that's 86 years old, and I'm going to sit and tutor her one-on-one because she wants to learn how to use her. She saw me using my phone. 86 years old. And I said, I want to be like you when I get to that point, That is
Yes,
so cool. But she said, I
absolutely.
can sense that you are so, I just want to do, I said, trust me, you can pass me. I'm just going to I'm going to get you started and then you can be off to the races. So those are the things that we definitely, I hope, if nothing else, through either my book or some of my speeches. And I love anywhere that I have an opportunity to speak to individuals. I love being able to do that because I know I'll at least grab one person with that positive nugget that they can get off their pity party and onto a propel party.
And tell us the name of the book again.
The name of the book is Turning Stones into Gems. Learn how to find purpose in your life and career. You can purchase that book on my website or at any of your bookstores, Amazon. It's Audible version on audible.com, ebook, as well as obviously the good old fashioned, not hardback, but paperback version as well. So
Fantastic.
absolutely, absolutely.
Congratulations
Oh,
on the
thank you.
successes that you have created for yourself through your own curiosity, openness, and just, love and passion for yourself and your
Mhm.
community that you're sharing this information with, and just helping change lives. And I'm so
Yes.
grateful that we had this time together
Oh,
today.
absolutely. I am as well. I'm so, so thankful. And I just want to pray and wish you continued blessings in all
Thank
that you're doing.
you.
It's
Oh,
a great, I love listening. I've already got 3 podcasts down and I've got more to come.
woo, woo. Yeah, I got
Absolutely.
you get squared
Yes.
away for the next
Yes.
while.
I know. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you so much for your time. It was so lovely to connect with you, and I would love to stay in touch.
Yes, we will. We will. Absolutely.
In the heart of the city, she's shining bright. Oh yeah, stories of love and courage all throughout the night. Her voice resonating, an anthem for all through the trials and the triumphs. She answers the call, a mother and a fighter, breaking barriers in stride. With love as her guide, she'll never hide. She's changing the world for you with a heart that's fierce strong, empathy's a melody. In our journey we all belong. Followers gather like stars in the night, so bright. 44,000 voices sharing in the light. She stands for family, advocates for more, a movement of compassion, ways will soar. Podcast together, a symphony of support, creating life, changing rapport. She's changing the world for you with a heart that's fierce and strong. Empathy's a melody in a journey